Why are some herbalists able to use herbs and spices intentionally for greater vitality and create the perfect herbal remedy just when it's needed, while others are still waiting till they have enough time to take the 1,000-hour herbalist course? Why do some use herbs strategically in every meal, while others have herbs and spices going stale on their pantry shelves? And why are some people confidently growing and using herbs to stay healthy and have more energy, while others are spending money on pills that just mask their symptoms? Pills that often have other side effects that damage their bodies. In this free workshop, I'll share the answers to these questions so that you too can confidently learn to use herbs to feel better and have more energy. My name is Chris Dalzell, founder of the DIY Herbal Fellowship, co-founder of the Joybilee Farm blog, and the author of the Beginner's Book of Essential Oils, Homegrown Healing from Seed to Apothecary, and the Beeswax Workshop, How to Make Your Own Natural Candles, Cosmetics, Cleaners, Soaps, Healing Balms, and more. Welcome to my brand new video workshop, Ordinary Herbs for Extraordinary Vitality. In this first video, you're going to discover a blueprint for intentionally using herbs and spices for greater vitality. This is going to immediately help you to use herbs and spices more strategically. Once you get this down, you'll start experiencing better digestion, increased energy, and better sleep. So, if you're a mom that wants to add herbs to their family's wellness strategy, but you aren't getting time to make herbal remedies so you can grow in your confidence, or you're a growing herbalist that isn't finding time to complete the herbal study program you enrolled in, stay with me, because you're going to discover why herbalists like you and me can actually make use of herbs and spices we already have for greater vitality, and why it's critical you get the time element figured out right now. The goal of this workshop is simple: to help you easily and confidently learn to use herbs to feel better and have more energy. Today, I'll show you the first step by helping you to use herbs and spices more strategically so you can have better digestion, increased energy, and better sleep. And that will give you a greater opportunity to experience health, vitality, and more time to enjoy your family. Are you ready to make this happen? Before we dig in, I've got to warn you about something critically important. And not paying attention to this virtually guarantees you're missing out on the health benefits of the herbs you already have in your pantry. Right now, you might think you don't have time to learn what you need to know to use herbs confidently and wisely. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if instead you incorporated herbs into what you're already doing, fitting your herbal learning into the time you already have? I get this may be pretty different from what you've heard before about herbal studies. But this fundamental shift is one reason why this blueprint I'm going to teach you today works so well. In fact, you might have already tried to use herbs and spices medicinally, and it didn't work out the way you'd hoped. Today you'll see how to do this in a whole new way. I'm sure you'll agree, trying to confidently learn to use herbs to feel better and have more energy isn't always as simple as some people make it seem. It comes with its challenges. Like maybe you harvested herbs to make salve only to have them go moldy, and you've had to throw them away, including the expensive oil you used, or you've enrolled in an expensive program of herbal study but got overwhelmed and never got past the first module, or 2 or 3. Or even purchased dozens of bottles of essential oils, but got confused about how to use them safely because of the conflicting information you found in your Google searches. You wonder, can I really confidently learn to use herbs to feel better and have more energy? If this sounds familiar, I get it. So many of us herbalists have tried the exact same things. We've heard that little voice of doubt in our head wondering if it's even possible. And I'm here to show you it is. That's why in this video, I'm going to demystify the process of finding time to learn about herbs and make herbal remedies. When you get this figured out, it will save you a lot of frustration. In this first video, I'm going to share a blueprint that I've developed after years of trial and error. It's called Herbs in the Margins. If you are missing out on the health benefits of herbs you already have in your pantry, this will serve as a tremendous resource to eliminate that frustration and help you to use herbs and spices more strategically. Maybe you're a mom that wants to add herbs to her family wellness strategy. Or maybe you're a growing herbalist. Either way, you're in the right place, because after this video, you'll know how to fit using herbs into the time you have, even if you think you don't have any time at all. I developed this framework for you because I saw so many herbalists coming completely confused while trying to use herbs medicinally. For example, I saw moms that wanted to add herbs to their family wellness strategies but couldn't find the time to complete the herbal studies that would give them the confidence to use herbs medicinally. I met growing herbalists that couldn't find the time to actually make herbal remedies and get the hands-on experience that would give them the confidence they needed. Some of these growing herbalists couldn't even find the time to complete their expensive herbal study programs because the time element wasn't in place. I could go on, but I know we herbalists need clarity because, in full transparency, that was my story too. Before I outline herbs in the margins and the specifics for each step, you might be wondering how I got into all this and figured it out. Let me tell you so you can understand where I'm coming from. I went through a dark period in my own health. 30 years ago, my body had stopped digesting food and I was rapidly losing weight. I know that might be hard to believe right now. I was weak and on so many prescription drugs, the pharmacist said the combination was lethal, and he even refused to fill my prescriptions. I knew that there had to be another way. So I quit the prescription drugs and I started to learn about using herbs strategically to heal my body. But I wasn't sure I would be successful because, well, I'm a busy mom and I didn't have much time between homeschooling 3 children, managing a farm full-time, and volunteering at church. And to be honest, I doubted I could do it because, well, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not even a nurse, and I didn't grow up in a family that used herbs for health. And on top of that, I figured using herbs for health might not be safe, might not be effective, and I didn't even know if it was legal. If any of this sounds familiar, let me tell you, I know exactly what it's like. I felt confused, and I even questioned myself whether I could do it. But I was tired of the downward spiral in my health, and I knew that using herbs and spices more strategically was key to getting what I was after. So I set out to find a way to make that happen. Once I got past my objections and began investing in myself, I started seeing massive improvements in my health. I was able to sleep without sleeping pills. I stopped needing drugs for my digestive issues, and I no longer relied on antidepressants and tranquilizers just to make it through my day. I got my energy back, and my family got their mom back. And I did what I set out to do. Now I know exactly how to use herbs and spices intentionally to stay healthy. In fact, people ask me how I managed to get so much accomplished every day. At almost 60 years old, I have more energy now than I did when I was 30. Through this, I discovered how to use herbs and spices more strategically to improve my health, which is exactly what I was going for. And if you're ready for health, vitality, and more time to enjoy your family too, you're going to love what's coming up. Because this story doesn't stop with me. Everything I'm about to share with you is the exact plan I followed to use herbs and spices intentionally for greater vitality, even when life was busy. And it's led me to have confidence in the herbs that grow in my own garden and in the wild forests and meadows near my home. More importantly, when I share my method with you, you'll experience health, vitality, and more time to enjoy your family. And that's what I wanted for you. All moms could use that, right? Which is why I want to make this easy for you. So coming up, I'll share just how I do it. I call my process herbs in the margins. The purpose of herbs in the margins is to help you find the time in your already busy life to use herbs and spices more strategically. It's by using them that you learn to trust them and grow your confidence. And that's how you develop intuition. You know what that is? That's that knowing that you know that you know. That intuition is so important when you're working with herbs. To get started, I created a simple PDF to help you keep notes and to provide even more value for this training. You'll see the download link on this page. Hit pause on the video now so you can download your own copy. Once you're ready, let's continue. So as we go through each part of the blueprint, I want you to identify obvious areas of opportunity for your current situation. Are you ready? Let's get started. Welcome to Herbs in the Margins. One of the biggest problems I hear over and over from my readers is that they want to learn about herbs and getting started with herbs and spices working for them for better health and increased vitality. However, they don't have time. And I get that. Time is so precious. Each of us is given a limited amount in our lifetime. I used to tell my family, you can always get more money, but you can't get more time. So we don't want to waste any of the time that we have. We want to use it all to do the things that are most important. Preserving our health so that we can spend more time with the people we love is pretty important, don't you think? We're going to play a game called Seek and Find. So take your Herbs in the Margins workbook, download it, and print it out. If you haven't done that already, just pause the video now and I'll wait. You'll also need 3 different color pencils or pens for this exercise, so gather those too. I'll see you in a minute or two. Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to look for the time you have in the margins. I call it time in the margins. Remember that the time that you have is so precious, we don't want to lose any of it. In this lesson, I want you to look for the time you have that you spend waiting. Whether it's waiting for a computer to start, waiting for a child to finish a lesson, waiting for an appointment, or waiting in line. Think about the last 5 days as you do this exercise. And if you can't remember, then take a few days to fill out this worksheet and see how much waiting time you actually are spending. So go to the first page of the workbook and circle any time that is greater than 10 minutes of waiting. You'll get a chart like this one. Just mark an X. You can pause the video if you need to and do the exercise, and I'll wait for you to come back. Look for the times when you are waiting. Waiting for a phone call. Waiting for children to finish their lessons. Waiting for appointments. Did you find any time in your day that was 10 minutes long of waiting? What about the time when you were waiting for the kettle to boil or waiting for a child to finish eating? Right now, I just want you to mark an X for that time in your diagram, but don't make any decisions yet. When were you waiting? Circle your waiting times on your diagram or mark them with an X. What was your total waiting time for the past 5 days? Write it down. Now let's look at question 2. This question looks at your screen time habits. Use a different color pencil for this one. Each time you are on a screen, your television, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, or Netflix, and you find yourself just scrolling absent-mindedly, circle that time on your diagram. Is it more than 10 minutes? How many times a day? With the last 5 days in mind, circle each time you scrolled through the screen looking for something aimlessly. Was it 5 minutes? 10 minutes? Half an hour? Count up those circles. Count up those circles or those X's. Write down the total minutes you spent scrolling absent-mindedly into your workbook. Now, there's no right or wrong answers for this. This is just for your own benefit. You don't have to tell me unless you want to. This is for your own benefit so that you can find some of the minutes in your day that you lost. Because as we mentioned to begin with, time is so precious. You have a limited amount in your lifetime, and every single minute is gold. You can't get any more of it. And so we want to capture these minutes and find out where they are. It's that little game of hide and seek I talked about. So make a circle for every 10-minute period that you spent scrolling or absent-mindedly looking for something to find on your screen, or mark it with an X. What was your total scrolling time for the past 5 days? Write it down. Now let's look at question 3. In the next exercise, I want you to look at the time that you spend waiting in the kitchen. I'm not worried about the rest of your day just yet. We want to look at your time in the kitchen. This is the time that you are waiting for dinner to cook, or for chocolate chip cookies to come out of the oven, or for your kettle to boil for that cup of tea. This is the time when your hands are not busy. I want you to switch colors, use a different colored pencil that you haven't yet used. This will be the third color of pencil you've used in these exercises. If any of this kitchen waiting time is greater than 10 minutes, mark a 10 with an X or circle it on your diagram. If you need to, you can stop the video anytime to do this exercise. Now, this kitchen waiting time is what I call prime time in the kitchen. Prime time in the margin. And I'll explain why in a few minutes. But first I want to know, how much time did you have in the margins? When were you waiting in the kitchen? Circle your kitchen waiting time on your diagram or mark it with an X. What was your total kitchen waiting time for the past 5 days? And this is really important because, as I said, your kitchen waiting time is your prime time in the margins. So write it down. Write down your total in the diagram. Now, look at all 3 of the diagrams you've filled out. How much time did you have in the margins in total for the day? How much time in the margins did you have over the last 5 days? How much time in the margins did you have in total? Fill in the blanks on your diagram for the total time. So add it all together and then fill in how many hours and how many minutes. This is going to be important. The DIY herbal tasks that can be accomplished in just 5 minutes. In the next part of this lesson, we're going to look at what's possible when you gather the time in the margins into purposeful, intentional activity toward your goals of herbal mastery. I think you'll be surprised. I want you to open your workbook to page 4 and see the DIY herbal projects you can do, even if you only have 5 minutes in your day. These tasks are tasks. I didn't ask you to circle the 5 minutes because if you found 10 minutes anytime in your day, you can do one of these 5-minute projects. And hey, it's going to be no stress because it's only 5 minutes, right? So these tasks are the tasks that you can do in the kitchen during your prime time. The things you can do in just 5 minutes. Go to page 4 of your workbook. Most of these tasks are the beginning of a complete herbal project. You can begin it in just 5 minutes. Then the potion or the herbal tincture sits and waits for about a month or so before you even need to touch it again. Seizing the minutes in the margin can fill your pantry and your apothecary with all the herbal medicines your family needs. It'll save you money over buying ready-made remedies or even over-the-counter pills. So have a look at page 4 in your workbook and look at the things that can be accomplished. You can start a tincture, you can strain a tincture, bottle and label a tincture, start an oil infusion, strain an oil infusion, bottle and label an oil infusion, harvest an herb from your garden, bundle an herb and hang it to dry on a hook indoors, make an herbal tea, make an herbal salt blend, fill an essential oil diffuser and plug it in to clean the indoor air, create a bottle of toilet odor control spray, like Poopery. Create an herbal cleaning spray, mix aloe vera gel and essential oils to create a hand sanitizer. And you can do all of those things in just 5 minutes. The DIY herbal tasks that can be accomplished in 10 minutes. That's twice as much time. If you found 10 minutes of time in the margins each day, just one 10-minute time period, you could accomplish 5 to 7 different DIY herbal tasks in this time over a week and be well on your way to gaining confidence in using herbs intentionally every single day. Just think of the improvement in your health that you could make if you just invested 10 minutes a day. And this 10 minutes isn't robbing your schedule of any other important tasks. My students tell me that this is their special time to recharge and focus on themselves. Wouldn't you love a 10-minute daily retreat to create herbal magic and grow your confidence in using herbs? So have a look at that list. It's on page 4, the DIY herbal tasks that can be accomplished in just 10 minutes. What could you do in just 10 minutes? You could read an herbal monograph, powder an herb in a blender jar or coffee grinder, make pesto using a food processor, make hummus using canned beans, make Zoom balls using powdered herbs, toast sesame seeds for tahini, toast almonds for nut butter, identify a wild herb using a field guide or phone app, Make shower soothers or shower melts to help with congestion. Make a bitters tincture to help with digestion. Make a pot of herbal tea to aid digestion, reduce anxiety, or even as a sleep aid. Start an herbal cordial, strain an herbal cordial, bottle and label an herbal cordial. Infuse witch hazel with herbs to create a facial toner. Infuse cider vinegar with herbs to create a hair tonic. Now, do you think this is an exhaustive list? No, this is just like skimming the surface. There are literally hundreds of things that you can do in just 10 minutes if you have 10 minutes in the margin. Now let's look at the DIY herbal tasks that can be accomplished in just 15 minutes. What can you do in just 15 minutes? Check page 5 of your workbook and let's look at that together. You can read an article that scientifically demonstrates the efficacy of an herb. You can read one chapter in an herb book written for the general public. You can create an herbal lip balm, create an herbal salve, create an herbal lotion bar, package an herbal salve or lotion bar, make tooth powder or toothpaste, make a facial mask, make a herbal poultice, an herbal foot bath, and in 15 minutes you can even stick your feet in and enjoy it. Make a cup of herbal tea using barks or roots. Make a nourishing herbal infusion and leave it to steep overnight. Create a natural perfume. Create an herbal bath tea. Package it in large tea bags. Create a spice rub using herbs, spices, olive oil, and salt. We're going to talk more about that in our next workshop. Make a barbecue sauce using natural ingredients and herbs. Make a safe infused oil by acidifying the dried herbs and then infusing in olive oil. Yeah, it only takes 15 minutes. Make a fresh batch of kombucha. Make a small batch of naturally fermented herbal sauerkraut or kimchi. Start a pot of soup. Create a natural herbal deodorant. Create a first aid salve. Create a salve for pain relief. Create a fresh salad dressing using infused vinegar, olive oil, and herbs. Create a facial steam using dried herbs, and in 15 minutes you can even use it. Preserve fresh herbs in olive oil and freeze them. Preserve fresh herbs in ice and freeze them. Make an herbal cocktail or a mocktail. Listen to one lesson in a DIY herbal masterclass. That's a lot of herbal goodness you can do if you find just an extra 15 minutes in your day. And I suspect you found more than 15 minutes. The DIY herbal tasks that you can do if you have 30 minutes. If you have just 30 minutes of time in the margins, you are well on your way to a healthier home environment. Almost all the DIY home cleaning products can be made in less than 30 minutes. Even homemade soap, shampoo bars, floor polish, and wood conditioner can be made in less than 30 minutes. I'm not kidding. And a great many herbal remedies can also be made in just 30 minutes or less, like elderberry syrup, cough drops, and even decongesting bath bombs. In 30 minutes, you can plant a spring herb garden, plant a 20-foot row of herbs in the garden, or weed a raised bed garden. Even if you just had 30 minutes in the margins, you could experience forest bathing and boost your immune system and improve your mood, or create a material medica of your favorite herbal allies. Plus, in just 30 minutes, you can save enough money to give your budget the wiggle room to purchase the herbs and essential oils that you can't grow yourself or forage from your own neighborhood. How cool is that? All you need is 30 minutes of time in the margins to make a huge difference for you, for your family, and maybe even for your neighborhood. So let's look at the herbal tasks that you can accomplish in 30 minutes. You can create an herbal materia medica of one of your favorite medicinal herbs. You can make ginger and cinnamon cookies to aid digestion. You can make herbal marshmallows to ease gas and indigestion. You can bottle fermented kombucha to increase its fizziness and improve digestion. You can go for a walk in the forest to increase the negative ions that you're breathing in and to improve your immune response. It just takes 30 minutes in a forest to make a huge difference for an entire month. You can make an herbal syrup, cough syrup, herbal flavoring for coffee or mixed drinks. You can even make a batch of cold processed soap if you have 30 minutes in the margins. You can cut soap bars, emboss, package, and label in 30 minutes. You can soak in a bath of Dead Sea salt to ease muscle and joint soreness and to improve skin conditions like eczema and psoriasis. You can prepare an isotonic solution with salt and use it in a neti pot to relieve sinus congestion. You can plant a 20-foot row of herb seed in an herb garden. You could weed a 20-foot row of herbs in an herb garden, and you can listen to 2 lessons of an herbal masterclass in the DIY Herbal Fellowship. But if you found just 60 minutes of time in the margins, you are golden. These are the DIY herbal tasks that can be accomplished in just 60 minutes. You'll find them on page 7 of your workbook. In this 60-minute period, you could create an herbal dinner from scratch that would go a long way toward resolving digestive complaints, give you more energy, and relieve anxiety and even insomnia. Yeah, it's true. Your mood is tied to the health of your digestion. When you invest in your healthy digestion, you resolve so many health issues, from joint pain to depression, from indigestion to anxiety. What would this mean to you? What could this shift mean to your family? If you have 60 extra minutes of time in the margins, you could complete a DIY herbal masterclass. You could read 1 chapter in a university herb textbook. You could learn a new herbal medicine making technique, plant a pollinator garden in your backyard, catalog the wild herbs growing near you. With 60 minutes of time, you could write your own herb book. You could organize your herb storage, or you could create an herbarium of local herbs. Have a look on page 7 of your workbook at the herbal tasks that can be accomplished in just 60 minutes. If you can find 60 minutes in the margins, you will be amazed at the progress you can make. You can create an herbal dinner from scratch, listen to an entire herbal masterclass in the DIY Herbal Fellowship. You can read 1 chapter in a university-level herbal textbook. You can learn new herbal medicine making techniques through repetitive practice. You can weed a 4x10-foot raised bed garden. You can make salsa from scratch. You can make a seasonal meal from scratch. You can create a personal materia medica for 1 herbal ally in just 60 minutes. You can catalog the wild herbs growing near you, plant a pollinator garden in your backyard, plant a natural dye garden in your backyard. You can mordant fabric in order to print cloth with herbs. You can write in a nature journal. You can create an herbarium using plants from your garden. You can sit in a forest for 60 minutes and breathe deeply. And you can write a chapter in your own herb book. You can make a batch of herbal soap. You can make a batch of herbal salve or herbal balms. You can organize an herb storage area. You can listen to a mentoring talk in the DIY Herbal Fellowship. You can even complete a certificate masterclass in the DIY Herbal Fellowship if you just have 60 minutes in the margins. If you could reclaim this time in the margins and start using it purposefully, you could make those desires you have for herbal mastery a reality. You could transform your home, your health, and maybe even your community. What would reclaiming this time in the margins mean to you? You can stop the video right now if you want, and you can think about this and write your answers in your workbook. This is for you to help you. There's no right or wrong answers. What would reclaiming this time in the margins mean to your loved ones, your children, your grandchildren, your husband, your best friends? Think about it. What would having more herbs mean to you? What would saving the money that making your own herbal products mean to you, to your family? Write your answers in your notebook. And again, there's no right or wrong answers. This is just for your eyes. What will you give up if you don't reclaim the time in the margins? Write your answers in your workbook. What will you gain if you reclaim the time in the margins? Write the answer in your workbook. And the last question, how much money could you save if you used the time you found in the margins to study herbs and create DIY herbal projects for yourself, for your family, for your friends? Write the answers in your workbook and take as much time as you need. And now, I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to take an honest look at the time you have in the margins. Consider how important to your family your investment in herbal education and hands-on herbal projects will be. Make a commitment to yourself for their sakes to complete this free herbal training and learn now how to use those little bits of time you have to make a difference in your health and to grow in confidence in using herbs to improve your health and wellness and the health and wellness of your family. Think about how important to your family your investment in herbal education and hands-on herbal projects is. Make a commitment to yourself for the sake of your family and for yourself to complete this free herbal training. And learn now how to use the time to make a difference in your health, grow in confidence in using herbs, and improve your health and wellness. I want you to write down a promise to yourself. Are you ready? I, fill in your name, promise to complete the lessons in this free training so that my health and my family's health can improve by using herbs intentionally every day. I will use the time I have in the margins to gain a better knowledge of herbs and to develop confidence in using them so that I can improve my own health and the health of my family members. I want to grow in my herbal intuition so that I can be healthier and spend more time with the people that matter to me. Herbs will help me do that. Now that you're clear about how to create a plan in order to use herbs and spices purposely for greater vitality, the big question is, how do you intentionally use herbs every day? Hands down, this is the most important key for growth for herbalists. If you can't include herbs in your meal planning, then you won't use herbs strategically every day. And without this, it means you'll miss the easiest way to use ordinary herbs for extraordinary health. Most herbalists create herbal remedies that they put on the shelf for health emergencies. They can often sit on the shelf for months waiting for somebody to be sick or injured. What if instead you could add herbs and spices into your meals so that your whole family can be healthier? This doesn't mean having to work much harder. It's about working smarter. A way better result for the same amount of effort. It's possible. Now, how do you intentionally use herbs every day for increased health and vitality? That's exactly what I'm going to show you in the next video. If you're a mom that wants to add herbal remedies to your family's wellness strategies, this will serve as the foundation so you see how to use herbs and spices strategically every day. If you're a growing herbalist, then you'll be able to quickly put this into practice by adding herbs strategically to your meal planning. I'm also going to address the unique needs of holiday meal planning and provide you with a menu plan and recipes that you can download and use to plan your own holiday meals that will leave you healthier instead of bloated and overdosed on sugar. Once you know exactly what to do, you'll see it's easy to use herbs and spices strategically every day, and I'll show you how in the next video. Before we go today, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me, what would life look like if you could use herbs and spices intentionally to address your own personal health concerns? How will life be different when you have confidence to use herbs and spices strategically every day? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to read everyone and I'll respond to as many as I can. And if you found this video useful, please share it on Facebook, Twitter, or even by sending a friend the URL to this page. What we've learned here today is a simple process for using herbs and spices every day in your wellness strategy. It's a game changer in helping you confidently learn to use herbs to feel better and have more energy. It's a key step along the way in reaching your goal. And that's when you can use herbs and spices more strategically and, more importantly, have health and vitality that allows you to have more time to enjoy your family. And what you're learning in this workshop puts you in the right path to get there. Next up, we'll talk about how to intentionally use herbs every day by following a simple process to help you add herbs strategically into your meal planning. I can't wait to see you in the next video.